get the word and God's like, no, we're going to change that plan. Kind of like writing your dreams in pencil kind of story that I gave you. And I was actually going to talk to you about all the people that sat at the Last Supper table. So I guess I'll have to bump that and do that again at another date. But this time, the table idea, God changed it. And perhaps it was something that I was going through, and I was also witnessing some of my staff going through. And so it just kind of came full circle and said, no, here's kind of what I want you to talk about. And I have to admit to you, I have thought about this every single day, multiple times a day. I have rehearsed this exact speech in my head, and maybe because it was only meant for me, which makes me nervous, because one time I did do a sermon that was for everybody, but come to find out it wasn't for y'all, and I wasn't able to deliver it. And when I got home, I cried and said I had failed the Lord that night because I couldn't deliver the sermon. And come to find out it wasn't for y'all, it was all for me. And that's how the Southern Big started, for those that were in on that. But tonight, I'm hoping that it wasn't all for me and it was for you as well, because I hope to get this out. Sometimes God doesn't need 909 words to speak to you. Sometimes He can speak to you in one sentence. He can speak to you in one single individual word, and He can send it through a text. He can use Matthew to send me a message, and I didn't even know that Matthew was going to give me a message today. That sort of thing. So He can talk to you through people, through a text message, through an email, through a blurb somewhere, or just running into someone at the grocery store or checking out with your to-go food. A word can be delivered just like that. Will someone let the kitchen? Oh, Andrea, we got a whole lot of people that are just in here. Andrea, that wasn't part of the call. Andrea, okay. She's here. Okay, so sometimes He can speak to you in just a word. And in Psalm 23, it hit me. I remember. I don't know if you recognize the one on the left, but I think a lot of older people have this cross stitch, and I can only imagine it probably took them 6 months to cross stitch all these tiny little letters on this cross stitch thing and then frame it. And I think my grandmother has this maybe in her dining room. Your grandmother may have it on a pillow or on a comforter or on a blanket, a throw blanket. It's Psalm 23, and I think sometimes that we just kind of, when people say, hey, let's all say Psalm 23, we all know, the Lord is my shepherd, He makes I lack nothing, He makes me lie down in green pastures. And then all of a sudden we kind of fizzle out, and then we're like, and then we get strong, and we're like, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. It's kind of one of those things that we know, but we don't really know what it means. So I just kind of wanted to touch on this before I get into this miraculous table that's in front of me. Psalm 23, it says, the Lord is my shepherd. Okay, well, David, who wrote this in the Bible, he was a shepherd. He knew exactly what it meant to be a shepherd. A shepherd would lay down his life for these sheep. That was his sole job. It wasn't like he had a part-time job watching the sheep, and then in the evening he was at Harris Teeter bagging groceries. Like, this dude was like, no, these sheep mean this much to me. I will protect them, and I will provide for them, and I will watch over them. And that's what he got paid to do. And that's what a shepherd does. And in the first sentence, David is admitting, the Lord is my shepherd, which makes us the sheep, right? And it's not really that the Lord was paying us a compliment. He wasn't trying to put us down either. He wasn't trying to knock us. But when the Lord says that we're the sheep, let's just talk about who the sheep are. Have you ever Googled, the facts about a sheep? They're not really all that bright, right? They need a lot of guidance. They like to get with the whole flock, and then they're like, oh, geez, look, we're all in the same pen together. Yeah, so I think I'm going to wander over here for about 6 months and do my own thing. It's like you were safe right here, and now you're all wandering off doing your own thing. A weird fact is that gnats lay eggs in their nostrils. Okay, the trivia, that's not weird. But that sheep, they are fluffy, and they like to get stuck in the briar patch, and then they're like, bah, bah, I need help, bah, and they're stuck, right? They tend to see rushing water, and they're thirsty, and they're like, oh, I am so thirsty, look at that and they get down there and they put their head in the water, forgetting that they have a big duvet cover on their head. And then what happens then? Then they get sucked into the river, and then they're drowning, and they're being pushed off with a rush, and they're like, bah, bah, looking back at the shepherd going, nothing. Right? They're not very bright. And so the shepherd who has laid down his life for these people have said, you know, I have a shepherd's hook and I have a staff, right? The shepherd's hook is to help us, is to help get us out of trouble when we're in trouble. So the shepherd reaches down in the river, puts his hook around the sheep's neck, and drags them back up and puts them back on land to save them, right? He's protecting us. Otherwise, that duvet cover, that little bag, David cover would have been way down there in the rapids, right? So David's saying, the Lord is my shepherd. In the NIV translation also adds, I lack nothing. Where the other one says, I shall not want, right? The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. NIV says, the Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing, meaning he has provided already on this earth every single thing you need. Now, if you know what your resources are and you're using them and you're focused, it's already here. You don't need anything. I mean, sure, I need that sweater at TJ Maxx salt, but I mean, you don't need anything because everything that you need to physically live on this earth is right here. He's already given it to us. So I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. Some of you are like, well, I ain't getting, nobody's going to tell me what to do. Okay, that's fine. Let me tell you how that's going to work out. You're like, I'm going to do it all by myself. I don't really need a shepherd because I already have somebody else leading me. Somebody at home, one of my friends, one of the people in the gang, they're leading me right now. So I don't really need you to lead me. They are my shepherd, and that's all that I need. And to make me lie down in green pastures, I think I got this, right? And he's saying, if you will chill out for a minute, I will give you rest, and I will restore your soul, and I will anoint your head with oil, and I will provide, and I promise all these things. But if you don't lie down, and you're like going to burn it all night, you got this all on your own, you know exactly what you're doing, you're going to be cranky, irritable, you're going to like have meltdowns, you're going to break down the people around you, you're going to be broke down because you are also busy trying to do it yourself, right? And then Tommy said, okay. So what does the shepherd do? The shepherd, it protects us, it feeds us, it provides for us. It is there. And the Lord is saying the invitation is already here. That the invitation I've given you, everything that you see in Psalm 23, all the way down, it says, the Lord is my shepherd, I like nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters, not the rushing ones. He refreshes my soul. Who doesn't need to be refreshed? Oh, I need to be refreshed. Yeah? All right? And he guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will do it evil. All right, what is the darkest valley? One of the Bible translations says, walk through the shadow of death. And I've always been like, wow, that's kind of strong. I don't really have death. Death is not really defined as being at the funeral home. Death can be the death of you lost a friend because she stabbed you in the back, she did you wrong, you walked away. You guys on the table, the signs that I put, these are the valleys of the shadow. The financial situation wasn't what we were counting on. His is, it didn't end up the way that we wanted to. You're always sticking me in the back. I mean, these are crucial things that you're just like, you're killing me, right? You're stabbing me. You're the situation I wasn't planning on. I can't see you. You're always criticizing me. You interrupted my plans that I didn't see coming, and you are the pressure in my life. I mean, these are real things. Do you not feel these things? I feel these things all the time. And he's saying, even though you walk through these situations, I got your back. Fear no evil, for you are with me, and the rod and the staff accompany. His rod is to save us. It's to save the sheep that's drowning. It's to save you when you feel like you are so eaten up with anxiety that you just can't take another day. That you are at the end of all end and you think there's no surfacing back from this, you think there's no recovery, there's no way anybody can help you. And he says, no, my rod, I will scoop you up, bring you back over here, and then the rod and the staff. And then the staff is not for us, it's not to poke us like, hello Lisa, you're doing wrong again. No, it was to fear off the bear and the lion, because the sheep are prey. They're awesome food for the bear and the fox and the lion and the bear. And so the sword was to kind of poke off those animals and protect you. And that's what the Lord is saying. I will use my rod to hit off these bad things that are coming at you, but you've got to what? You've got to accept my invitation to sit down, chill out, take a rest, keep your eyes on me, and don't lose sight of me. When you lose sight, you're that sheep that goes, oh yeah, we're all on this spot together. So I think I'm going to run here 6 months over here. That's exactly what you're doing. And he's saying that he promises this every Monday, every Tuesday, every Thursday, every high day, every low day. It doesn't matter the day of the week or the month or the year. I got you. But you have to accept the invitation. You can't just be like a part-time medium. And you can't say, but Lord, my life is kind of crazy right now. I really ain't got time for all that. I got all this stuff I got to juggle. But he's saying, yes, you do. I see what's going on in your life, and I know what's going on in your life, and I'm telling you, I have prepared a table in the middle of all your enemies. The enemies are the people that are criticizing you, the people that are your problem that you won't look for. The enemies are your situation you won't plan it on. It's the way it didn't end up. You gave me bad news, all right? And then you called me with a prognosis. I didn't need a prognosis, right? And in the midst of all that drama going on in your life, he said, right here, number 5, verse 5, prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Anoint my head with oil, that my cup overflows. In the middle of all of this that I have going on, and I don't think I can take it another day, he says, Lisa, will you just have a seat? Will you have a seat with me? I know they're sitting there. And I did it right here in the middle of it. Why? Because for his glory, he's going to give me good. He's going to calm me down. And he's going to get through it with me. But he's saying, also, I put it in front of the enemies because I want them to see your face. I want them to be like, okay, Lisa's got a lot going on, but I don't know how she's doing it all. Like, I don't know, like, if she got some magic thing that I get it asked all the time, like, you got an extra vitamin you're taking? Like, what's all that energy come from? I don't know, really. It might be the pain. But I'm saying that the Lord is just saying, if you'll have a seat, I am waiting here for you. And so this Lord Almighty has come from the heaven, poof, and he's here, and he comes down and he says, Lisa, here's your table. What else you got going on this week? You think you got a lot going on this week? Can you just have a seat? Just for a minute? Yeah, you just need to have a seat, right? This is accident night. And sometimes you're like, I don't really want a table, Lord, in the middle of my enemies. Had I written this verse on I probably would have said, I prepared a table with you and not even mention the enemies. Because I could care less, eject me from the situation I got going on. I can't handle this. I don't really care if these people that screwed me at work today, I don't care that they are here at my table. Like, this is just for us. And he said, no, I can't eject you from your broken world right now. I need them to see us as much as you need to be seen. So this is what I have. So hold on, I'm getting distracted by all the drink spills, sorry. So this is my chair. This is God's chair, right? So this is God. And he's sitting here and he's waiting for me, right? He's just waiting for Lisa to finish doing what she has to do, what she thinks she has on her schedule, and all the things that are making her angry at work or her private like people on Facebook or whatever they said to me, that he's sitting here waiting for me to calm down and come to the table, right? And so he's sitting here, and then this is me, right? And I sit, Lord Jesus, okay? And so he's over here, and he says, "Hey, Lisa, can I fix you a glass of water? I'd love to fix you a glass of water." Okay? Yes, it's real holy water. And so he says, even though I'm made of holy water, I'm going to pour myself a glass, right? Because he's thirsty too. And he sits down, and he says, "Wow, Lisa, I am so glad that you joined me. I'm glad that you find time out to come and sit with me. You look great, by the way. Have you had a great day? I love you so much, Lisa, and I'm just so happy that you finally came." And then here's me, right? And I'm like, "Oh, no way. Jesus, this is cool. Look at this spread. Oh my God, blackberries? Okay, they're not moldy. Oh, so good. Oh my gosh, grapes. I love grapes. Oh, are these Teddy Graham? I love Teddy Graham. Oh my God, cherries. Who told you I like cherries? Okay. They're probably going to be sick in a minute. But, wow, look at this spread. This is awesome. I mean, oh my God, can I borrow your phone? Oh, this is so cool. This is so cool. Okay, let's see. Oh, I got to get a picture of this. Nobody is ever going to believe this. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Use a heavenly filter. Okay, let's see. Don't worry, I'll tag you at Almighty, right? Okay. And so then I'm going to post it. And the post is going to, oh, wait. Yeah, let's do it in portrait mode. I like portrait mode. Let's see here. Portrait. Okay, portrait mode. All right, there we go. And, okay. And so, oh my God, I'm going to post this. I'm going to be a hit of today. Oh my God, I'm probably going to get like 100 likes. And I'm going to put breakfast with the King. Post. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. Well, listen. This has been great. I'm so sorry. The meeting I thought I had today, I thought it was one meeting, but it turned out it was 2 meetings. And yeah, I got a jet, but wow, this is great. So when I get done with everything, like I'll try to call you back, Lord, and I'll try to have some time with you. I tell you what, has anybody got a to-go cup? Oh yeah, to-go cup. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Lord. This has been great. Oh my gosh, my friends are not going to believe this. All right, I'll check with you later. All right. Oh, send that. Deb, did you see that post I did today with me? Can you believe that? I mean, I was with the King. I had lunch with the King. Mary Beth, did you see that? Oh my gosh, nobody's ever going to believe it, right? And that's exactly what we're doing. We are using Jesus as this drive-through, convenient thing. And he is still sitting here waiting for me. But I was so busy with my to-do list. And I was so busy with trying to worry about what's going to happen at work when I finally get there. I got to deal with those people. And then I got to deal with my family. Lord knows Thanksgiving's coming. There's going to be 30 people at my house, and I'm going to have a lot of drama there. And I just got a lot of people, a lot of things going on that I got to juggle. And he is still just sitting here, waiting, right? And he's saying, when I sit down at the table, how fast the enemy slips up at the table. Now, this is the part that has happened all week to some of my staff and to me that I keep witnessing. You finally get at the table with God, and your enemies are around you, but how quickly they love to come pull up a chair. I see it happen in a restaurant. I was at Olive Garden celebrating a birthday one time, and it was just supposed to be us. And this customer walks by, and she's like, "Hey, are you Lisa Jordan, the artist, the one that paints all that furniture?" I'm like, yeah, I see. She's like, "So I've been meaning to tell you about some furniture. I'll tell you what, I'll call you. Can I have your number? Sure, I'll give you your number. And I'll call you and I'll get with you because I got a lot of furniture I want you to paint." Okay, all right, see you later. So she leaves, and about 3 minutes later, she she goes back in the restaurant, and I'm thinking she probably left her keys at her table, or coat, or purse, I don't know. No, she stops at my table again. Hey, so I was telling my husband that was you, and he was like, well, you should probably go back in there and tell her about the pieces, so we need a price so we can get on her schedule to get all these pieces done. And so she's telling me all this, and I'm like, okay, so I'm here celebrating a birthday with my husband, and I tell you what, the number I gave you, if you'll just call me, we'll talk about it like another day, but right now, we're just kind of doing this thing. Oh, happy birthday, by the way. So about the furniture, it's a hutch, it's about 42. And I was like, I thought that was the way out. I said I was celebrating a birthday, and she stops long enough to say, oh, well, happy birthday. And then gets back into describing the sizes of pieces of furniture that she wants to bring. Now, she is not the enemy, but that's how fast the enemy can slip up at your table. He's not going to come dressed up in that red costume with the horns, right? Halloween's over, guys. Halloween is over. He ain't coming in that costume. The stores are already shut down. He's going to come in like a normal person. And he's going to slip up to your table, and you're not even going to know it, right? So first you're sitting here with God. The enemy's not here. This is you and him. And you're sitting here. I've got to take a picture with the Bible. And you're like, oh, breadsticks. I forgot I brought these. No, so good. And so you're sitting here eating with the king, and he's like, Lisa, want some bread? And I'm like, yeah, I love bread. I love the inside of it out. And eat it. Yeah, it's delicious. And I'm like, how did you know? I like all these things. Might need some more. And I'm just like, this is so good. And then here comes the enemy. He casually slips up to the table, right? And he sits down and he goes, hey, what you been up to? This is good. Hey, do you mind? Yeah, this is good. So, what's been going on at work? Yep. Is that boss? Christy, she's still your boss. Man, I don't know how you do it. I would give it up. I would put in my 2 weeks. I tell you what, I wouldn't even put in the 2 weeks. I would just leave. Yeah. How's it going on at home? And you should leave him. He ain't no good. He ain't no good. There's 100. Oh, you should see this guy I want you to meet. I know you're married, but I want you to meet this guy. Jesus, can I have some of your work? Okay, and this is the enemy. He has slipped up, and in less than 15 minutes, he is selling me on how another table is better. He is selling me that what I have, what I've been promised, is not really good enough, that I'm probably not good enough. I should get more money at my job. I should not be with this person. This person's a loser. Did you know that your husband's mama has been talking about you behind her back? Girl, every time you leave the room, that is all she's doing, is just talking about all this negative stuff. And when you come back in the room, she shuts back up and acts all good again. This is who the enemy is. He isn't with us all the time. He keeps showing up. He shows up. I was at a job, and one day I'm going to have a picture as proof of this concrete job that I have talked about, because I swear it exists. And but it got ruined. Okay, so I had finished this whole job. It has taken me forever to do, all right? And he hires a contractor to come in and start building another section on the property. Messes up everything that I have already worked hard to do. Yes, I got my money. I shouldn't be, but the fact is, it's my work, and as an artist, I'm not just a hired contractor. I'm an artist who fell in love with what I was doing, and I gave you everything I had. I didn't take breaks. I didn't drink anything, so therefore I wouldn't have to pee. I literally gave you everything for weeks on end, and then came home to pretend that, hey, everything's good. So what you've been doing today? Just to find out that it was ruined. And I had to keep reminding myself of this exact talk tonight, because the enemy was slipping up at my table. He kept pulling up the table, and I'd pull it away, and he'd pull it up, and I'd pull it away. And I was like, oh my gosh, this message might be for me and not for y'all. But I hope that you recognize something happening in your life right now where the enemy has a place at your table, and he is eating your lunch. And you're giving it to him. And you don't even know because he's doing it so casually. Okay? And when it comes next Thursday, a week from now, you might have a couple of them people at your table too. And you're like, I got to lock eyes with God. And so every time I would start to think about these things, I would say, Lisa, focus. Lisa, focus. Don't worry about the person in the chair. Just lock eyes. And I would keep telling myself, lock eyes with God. Lock eyes with God. And when you do, everything seems to calm down. And then what I was so upset about with my job that got totally ruined, and it seemed like I was the only one that cared, and it wasn't even my house, I let it go. And I just said, you know what, that's that man's problem. Sure, I'll have to go back and spring and touch it all up. But it's between me and God, and that was the enemy trying to push that chair up there. And so God is just saying, God is saying, trust me, that I want to be your shepherd. I want to provide for you. I want to protect you. I want to feed you. I want to give you everything you need. Will you sit at the table? Will you come to the table? Will you lock eyes on me? Or have you got this by yourself? Are you already being led by somebody else? And you're just like, I'll call you, Lord, when I get in deep trouble. I don't really need it right now because I'm kind of rolling with these people. But he's saying, lock eyes with me. Trust me. I will be there always. And so when someone, and then the enemy, this is a famous line, I hear this all the time, and I even say it, I'm guilty of this, and I'm trying to stop it. I'm trying to take it out of my dialogue. And that's when the enemy is sitting here, and he goes, yeah, how you doing, man? And you're like, I don't know. Where did we get that term, I don't know? It was never mentioned in the Bible that someone walked up to Jesus and said, are we going to make it, Jesus? And he goes, well, man, I don't know. He never said that. We got that from this guy. The guy that sat in this chair is how that whole lingo came about. I don't know, man. You and your wife good? I don't know, man. Your job good? I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to make it. We got it from this guy who was not even invited. So you have to, so when someone says, how's it going? You say, we're going through a couple of rough spells, but I got my eyes focused where I'm supposed to be focused, and I'm going to get through it because that's the promise he gave me. You've got to take that out of our dialogue of things we say. And I say it, I just said it, I think like yesterday, and it slipped out, and while the person was responding, I had almost like removed myself from the storyline to say, Lisa, you just said it. You just said, man, I don't know. And you just say it every day. You pass it, you're like, how you doing, man? I don't know. Yeah. So you got to learn to like twist that, because that is the devil talking. It was never in the Bible that Jesus ever said that. So don't give the enemy a seat at your table. Take it back. When you realize he's sitting there in the middle of a situation, and it's not about what's on the table. It's about who's at the table. And when you realize that somebody else that you have, all of a sudden your attention went this way, and you're having a dialogue with this person, that's when you're just like, you got to slap yourself and just be like, whoa, hold on. What was that, Lord? And he's just sitting there going, I love you. And I want to do everything for you, everything I promised that David wrote in there. It's just sitting here waiting, and all you got to do is say, yes, I want you to be my shepherd. I want you to guide me. I want you to protect me. I want you to provide for me. But, we don't want to minimize your stresses because anxiety is real. Someone criticizing you at work all the time is real. Someone pressuring you in your life, all these demands you have on you, they are real things, and they have real value. But God is just saying, when you're sitting there going through it, time out, sit down, focus. That's all I ask. And then all of a sudden, it just all goes away. So I had a picture that had all these things, but for some reason this is time out. And so this is the whole point of my thing. 9 words that changed my life. Don't give the enemy a seat at your table. That's what came to me. You like that? Okay, thank you. So that was my message. Now, we have to, let's find a song that we can all sing